Hey everyone, Anthony Fantano here, the internet's busiest music nerd. I hope you're doing well. Now that we have this headline here in front of us, I thought it would be pivotal to kind of come in here and do an update on one of the biggest legal stories to come out of hip-hop over the past year, and that is the arrest of multiple individuals affiliated with Young Thug's YSL, including Young Thug, including Gunna, and numerous other people. Legally, this is all being treated as a RICO case, and a lot of fans have been waiting for bated breath for months now as to what the next steps of this case is going to be. And now, in front of us, we have one of the biggest news developments out of these arrests in a while, and that is Gunna being released from jail after pleading guilty in the RICO case. Now, as Pitchfork reports, there's some pretty interesting details to come out of this, because he didn't just plead guilty to one count of conspiracy here. He did, I guess, what is called an Alford plea, where he pleads guilty but simultaneously maintains his innocence, which he will do in the statement that we're about to read. Looks like the remaining balance of his sentence has been dropped, and he has been given 500 hours of community service. How he will be made to spend that time, who knows? But yes, he did plead guilty, but in this statement that he has released, he says, "When I became affiliated with YSL in 2016, I did not consider it a gang, more like a group of people from Metro Atlanta who had common interests and artistic aspirations. My focus of YSL was entertainment rap artists who wrote and performed music that exaggerated and glorified urban life in the Black community. While I have agreed to always be truthful, I want to make it perfectly clear that I have not made any statements, have not been interviewed, have not cooperated, have not agreed to testify or be a witness for or against any party in the case, and have absolutely no intention of being involved in the trial process in any way. I have chosen to end my own RICO case with an Alford plea and end my personal ordeal by publicly acknowledging my association with YSL. An Alford plea in my case is the entry of a guilty plea to the one charge against me, which is in my best interest, while at the same time maintaining my innocence toward the same charge. I love and cherish my association with YSL Music, and always will. I look at this as an opportunity to give back to my community and educate young men and women that gangs and violence can only lead to destruction." So here it is. Here we have it. Gunna's statement, although at least from what I've been seeing on the internet with some of the footage and some of the clips from the trial, they don't exactly gel with what he is saying here to the public. But again, that kind of makes sense given that within the context of the court, he had to plead guilty, which here in the courtroom, we have a series of statements being made, which Gunna is agreeing to.
YSL is a music label and a gang, and you have personal knowledge that members or associates of YSL have committed crimes in furtherance of the gang.
Yes, ma'am.
I recognize, accept, and deeply regret that my talent and music indirectly furthered YSL the gang to the detriment of my community. YSL as a gang must end. Is that your statement or acknowledgement?
Yes.
You are going to have like differences in, I guess, the messaging that you're getting with an Alford plea, because again, he is saying he did it. He is admitting to doing it, but simultaneously maintaining his innocence. I will note three things now that we have brought this up. One, guys like Freddie Gibbs, who have been talking about Gunna and snitching and so on and so forth for a minute now, are having an absolute field day with this. Number two, you have many of the fans who are freaking out over this footage and the fact that he's being released in general and saying, "Oh, he sucks, he's a snitch," when I know for a fact that most of the people, potentially the thousands of people quote tweeting this, making those exact statements, would probably take any kind of plea deal or anything if they were in the same position as Gunna. Again, guarantee it. Pretty easy to come on here and play armchair quarterback and just be like, "Yeah, I wouldn't tell on anybody. I don't care how long you put me in jail. I don't care at all." And three, at least there is a silver lining here in that Gunna is being freed, and maybe he can continue his music career and his fans will continue to fuck with his shit, stream it, enjoy it, push P, whatever it is. While I have not been a huge Gunna fan, I know there are a lot of people out there who are. He did have one of the biggest singles and records of this year. And, hopefully he continues to bring joy to people who enjoy his stuff. With that being said, this whole trial and process is still far from over. While there's no hard evidence as of right now to contradict anything Gunna said in his statement in terms of like not interviewing, not cooperating, so on and so forth, you do have to remember we are dealing with a broken and exploitative legal system here that doesn't exactly like hand out these sorts of deals for free or for nothing. It's not like the authorities and the system at large took pity on Gunna and offered this to him out of like the goodness of their hearts. So with that being said, I will remind you that, again, there is more to come. And when you see guys like Gunna get let off, you do have to wonder, as this case kind of works its way up the food chain, who is bearing the brunt of the responsibility here? Is it a bunch of no-names who are in the YSL cohort? Will they essentially take the fall for all of this? I mean, maybe some of them will, but if there's another thing I know about authorities and the legal system, it's that they typically like to make examples of the individuals they're arresting, because seemingly that is the only way we can prevent more crime from happening. Fuck getting at the root of any of this stuff. No, we have to scare people out of potentially becoming the next Gunna or Young Thug or whoever. I personally wonder and worry, as this thing progresses, will the weight of this RICO thing lay purely on Young Thug's shoulders? Will he suffer the greatest consequences? Will he have the longest sentence because he is seemingly the leader of the group? There is serious potential for that, and if there is, the ending of this trial could be fairly ugly, in that we would be witnessing the destruction of a man's life and artistic potential. Now, with that being said, the charges in this case are pretty far-reaching and include things like murder, attempted murder, assaults, and those who committed those things, assuming there's proof that they did it, and whatever connections that Young Thug may have to it, should the consequences of that be felt. Probably, as there have been reports that Young Thug was connected to the rental of a car that was used to kill a rival gang leader. So again, all of this is still very much in a place of development, but I think the two strongest conclusions that can be made at this point right now is that crime is a really tricky business when you are so deeply under the limelight, and very clearly the legal system that we have that is supposed to be dealing with crime isn't exactly working in the best interests of the people, and is often exploitative and is just trying to deal with the symptoms as opposed to the disease. Those are my thoughts on that. Let me know yours down in the comments below. You're the best. Over here next to my head is another video that you can check out. Hit that up, or the link to subscribe to the channel. Anthony Fantano, Gunna, released forever.